Hi, everyone. My name is Suzie Dawson, founder of Panquake.com, and I'm thrilled to once again be here with you to present our August public delivery meeting. I'd like to apologize up front. We're a few days late this month. I had urgent dental treatments last week, which saw me out for the count for a few days. So that's why this is coming to you a little bit later, but you will definitely not want to miss this, as I'll be announcing some pretty major changes to our format going forward. Panquake has achieved some major landmarks, milestones in the build, which we'll be discussing tonight. And so I want to then talk to you all about what's coming next. First, we're just going to pop into my presentation and cover off the build progress from the last month. So here we are in August. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me that it's only been a year and a half since we first talked about the idea of Panquake. It's been a little over a year since we hired developers to begin to build this product, and we already have a fully functioning interface. Panquake is already a reality and not just an idea. So where are we at? Our phase 3, our final phase of our public campaign, is currently at 27% funded at $183,376 raised by over 3,000 generous donors. These people who've donated to this campaign are what brought us to this moment, where we have a fully functioning interface, where we have built software that will deliver them the freedom from corporate control that they want for their communications, for their networks, for their communities. So I thank you all for that. It's been a really significant contribution from you all that without it, we could never have got to where we are right now. In terms of development, we're still working on our network protocol. I believe I had a bit of a talk with Shabri last month about the particulars of what we're doing with the network protocol. I explained that the network protocol is something that will evolve throughout the entire life of the product. So it's not just one piece of work that gets finished in a calendar month or in 3 months or in 6 months. It's actually something that we will constantly be massaging, making changes to, making enhancements to, in order to improve the functioning of the network. We also are doing a bunch of integration work, which is kind of super techy and boring, so I won't get too much into it. In terms of marketing, Cherie and our marketing team have been hard at work on a new panquake.com website. Having hit the development milestones that we have and moving into our pre-delivery phase, it is now time for us to communicate some different types of information and more information in some cases than we did when we were just launching a campaign for a new idea. So keep an eye out. In the next few weeks, you'll get to see the new look panquake.com website coming to you. We're still, of course, approving beta applications. We're still accepting beta applications. We intend to do that right the way up until the delivery of the product. So there is still time to bring on your family and friends and get them to apply for beta if you'd like to. I talked last month about how for the first time ever, we now have staff members outside of the development team who are able to use Panquake and are engaging in quality assurance testing for us, which has been extremely helpful. Just trying to pick up on any bugs in different types of browsers or different types of devices and passing that information through to the development team, who can then act on it and do those bug fixes or those minor changes that need to be addressed. That's super exciting for us because that is one step before us being able to actually create a user testing team and have regular people who don't necessarily have any technical knowledge get to use Panquake and test the application and give their feedback. Okay, what have our devs been up to? Well, interestingly enough, August was the European summer months. And so a number of our people, including Sean, who's actually currently still on holiday right now, a number of our people were away through the month of August, which is a normal summer vacation thing for those who live in the Northern Hemisphere. Despite this, we still had enormous development progress achieved on the Panquake build. So first up is something that is one of the most exciting things about Panquake. It's one of the things that is going to actually shock every single person who uses the application. And unfortunately, it's also something I can't really talk much about because this is something we definitely need to keep close to our chest until release of the beta. In short, our developers, our wizards, have created a custom multimedia viewer integrated into the Panquake front end, which has functionality that has never existed before in the commercial software industry. It does things and does things in ways that no other social media application does, which dramatically enhance the user experience and which have absolutely thrilled everybody who has got to see it so far. This is going to change the way that users expect file upload, file display, embeds, integration of files, display and viewing of files works in social media. It is something that neither big tech nor alt tech platforms have. And I can't give you any more details than that. I'm really sorry, other than to say it's a really big freaking deal. And it is a unique selling proposition, as we would say in business language, above and beyond all of the other USPs, unique selling propositions that Panquake already possesses. So this is a game changer, and it's built, it's working, it's tested, it's integrated, it's in production, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. The only other tidbit I can give you is to say that when I had this idea, I didn't know if it was possible. And I said to our devs, could you do this? Like, can you try and do this? Like, it would be ideal if you can do this, but I understand if you can't. Because to be honest, I didn't really think it was possible. And they came back to me and said, we've done it. It's here. And my mind was blown straight away when I saw it, and as has everyone else has been. So super, super, super exciting that we are developing industry first functionality in the area of multimedia. I don't think that's something that anyone expected from us, and it's just a really special surprise for all of us as well, and will be for you when you get to use it. What else have we been doing? We now have been working on integrating our help functionality. So it's really important to us that users get really good help resources and multiple different types of help resources from us. So we now have the functionality is built to keyword search either PDF files or also short videos about different parts of the Panquake application, how it works, how to use it, where to click, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if you prefer to read, those PDFs will be available to you and searchable. If you prefer to watch, those videos are there and searchable for you as well. And then they just display in a little mini viewer and in window and application. So you're not sent off to some other page, other window, other site or anything like that. It's all available within the application itself. Another huge piece of work that we have just delivered is recovery phrases. So now when you sign up for your Panquake account, you get a 12-word recovery phrase. Any of you who have had cryptocurrency wallets or used applications which have some type of cryptocurrency feature would be quite familiar with this. The purpose of the recovery phrase is that if you lose your password, if you lose your device, because remember on Panquake, your data is stored on your device. If you drop your phone in the drink or you lose your laptop or it's stolen, you will still have the ability to recover your account. And then, of course, because of the blockchain and stat services, you'll be able to restore your content as well. So it's just a way to make sure that you don't suffer any loss of data or any loss of account access from having your encrypted data store on your device. So super cool that we're able to do that, and that's already in and done, and it's really highly usable the way that it's been designed and integrated. It's very, very easy to understand and easy to use. And our devs are right now also creating the ability for you to download backup files of your account data that you can store in other places. So if you have an external hard drive you want to put it on, or a DVD or a YubiKey or whatever you want to put it on, you'll be able to do that as well. And then of course you can restore from backup if you need to. So this is actually the end of the list of functionality that needed to be built out in our application. Any functionality that has further work that can be done on it now is dependent upon our back-end web services. I talked a little bit in prior months about this. Basically, as we move into service delivery, the remaining tasks, the big remaining tasks for us, are all back-end stuff. It's all plugging stuff in, making stuff work behind the scenes. But the Panquake application itself, the interface itself, is now as progressed as it can be. Someone said today, the house is built. Yes, the house is built. There might be a little bit of painting and decorating that goes on, but essentially the walls, the floor, and the roof are there. We have achieved the design architecture that we put together when we began this, when we commenced this build. And to have done so in a little over a year is truly remarkable. But what the developers will be tasked on going forward is all about the network itself and how information flows around the network, how, excuse me, how our blockchain and trust model are implemented. It's all around network protocol stuff as well. So it's super geeky, super technical stuff. And I'm not really sure that the majority of our supporters will find it particularly relevant to them. So because we have now built all of the functionality into the interface that we can possibly build for the beta release, there isn't really a whole lot of reason for me to sit here and try and explain the individual achievements of the build team each month. I could do so, but it would be highly technical and probably quite boring for people. I'm not really sure that it's of interest to them to hear the intricacies of how the stat service and auth service and various web services deliver data around the network. That's all the type of stuff that gets published in our technical white paper anyway. And because we're an open source project, people will ultimately be able to study the source for themselves. So because that's not very interesting, I've been thinking about what can we give our community that is super interesting. And I think what you want to see is more Bill Binney and more John Kiriakou and more awesome high profile supporters of Panquake, and maybe some not so high profile supporters talking about privacy, talking about social media, talking about freedom of communication, talking about what this project means to them, how it will change their lives, and maybe even some other solutions that are out there at the moment. I would love to talk to people about Nitter and NVIDIAs and these types of services. So what we're going to do going forward is I still want to keep the monthly format going. I think it's really cool to get to talk to our community, and I know that you guys like it. So we will keep doing monthly meetings, but rather than them being based around functionality or particulars of the application, what we're going to do is take it back to the roots, why we're doing this, where we need to go, all of us together as a human race, and how Panquake is going to help to achieve that. So as of next month, rather than a public delivery meeting, you can expect to see a new format coming from us. Of course, we'll still update you on the progress and completing the steps towards the delivery of the beta. You will still hear news about Panquake, but it'll just be in a slightly different format. Okay, on that note, I really appreciate you all for being here and for watching this far, if you have made it through. And I appreciate the well wishes over the last week and your patience with me while I was sick. And I will see you next month with some cool friends for an exciting new format. I just want to finish by saying, once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everybody who got us to this point. Thank you to everybody who has worked on the project, who has supported the project, and who has created this beautiful thing that in a really dark world is an important ray of light for all of us. Thank you so much and see you next month.